It's going to be quite a month for game releases, so expect plenty of before you buy videos from me, your old pal Jake. But for now, buckle up real quick because we got to break down the 10 best games releasing in October 2017. Starting off with number 10, we have Gran Turismo Sport for PlayStation 4. This is dropping at the start of the month, and honestly, this is a game that I kind of forgot was happening, but now that I remember it is, it's good, because Gran Turismo Sport is kind of like a staple for PlayStation, and I think people forget just how hardcore this game is. This is like a racing sim-ass racing game, if I've ever seen one. However, though, it's been a while since we have gotten a Gran Turismo game, and we've seen a lot of really great innovations in the genre, so I'm curious to see what this is going to have. It's going to have a campaign mode this time around, though, much more robust online, with Sony themselves talking up a more equal and balanced matchmaking, and just lots of hardcore simulation stuff, a driving school that really kind of gives you the in and outs of actually how to drive, a circuit experience that lets you learn how to drive some of the most difficult sections of the world's most famous racetracks, and these Gran Turismo games are so hardcore, it's going to teach you stuff like learning the signals, the flags, and all these different safety protocols when racing. So if you want that, if you want a really, really deep racing experience, hopefully Gran Turismo Sport lives up to its name. But at number 9, we have Fire Emblem Warriors, releasing on October 20th for Nintendo Switch and 3DS. And if you're on the outside looking in, all you really need to know about this is that it's once again a Dynasty Warriors spin on a Nintendo property. Like last time merging Zelda and Dynasty Warriors to make Hyrule Warriors, I'd say that worked out pretty damn good. And Fire Emblem Warriors is shaping up to be pretty awesome too. Judging from what we have seen of it so far, it seems like it does a good job of merging gameplay elements important to both Dynasty Warriors and the very complex Fire Emblem games. The way it's set up this time around, it's a new kingdom with multiple Fire Emblem characters from different games coming into one shared universe. Think of it kind of like how they handled the mobile game Fire Emblem Heroes. It's kind of like that. But with this, it's way more killing, and you finally get to see your badass favorite Fire Emblem characters be badass. You get to play people like Corrin, Marth, Xander, and a bunch of others. And there's a lot of different things you can do. You can combine their abilities to become one devastating attack force. You can unlock new moves, use different weapons, unlock different heroes. And there's also amiibo support. I think that's actually a big plus. It looks like a ton of fun, but we have to wait towards the end of the month, so here's hoping it lives up to both the Fire Emblem and Dynasty Warriors names. But at number 8, we have WWE 2K18, a series that, since this new generation, has kind of been remaking itself from the ground up. And 2K17 last year, I did a before you buy on it, and it seemed like it was starting to get into the swing of things with way more modes. And 2K18 is going kind of to the next level with a completely new graphical engine, and something that I'm not going to lie, I'm really excited about. The previous games you played with 6 wrestlers at once. Now you can handle up to 8 wrestlers at once in a ring. The Royal Rumble match mode has been retooled too, with like new mechanics, different finishers, and elimination sequences, and they're bringing back a carry system that we really haven't seen done very well since the late 2000s, where you can pick up a dude or drag him around and place him where you want him in a specific spot in the ring. That sounds like that's not a big deal, but that's something that's been sorely missing from this series. You can kind of set up a guy, but it just didn't work right, and now I hope they really got it right. But along with that, expect the normal sports game upgrades like a deeper character creation, the create a match feature from 2K14 is coming back, and a bigger and seemingly more stronger and fleshed out career mode. Wrestling games have always been guilty pleasure games of mine, so I'm really hoping that 2K18 kind of restores the genre to its former glory. But time will tell. We'll have to figure it out when it drops for all the consoles on October 17th. And at number 7, we have South Park: The Fractured Butthole coming out. I just say butthole, I'm sorry. It's The Fractured Butthole, but however you want to pronounce it, one thing should not be ignored, and that's the fact that the last South Park game, The Stick of Truth, was actually a really good, funny, well-written, and well-designed RPG-style game. And South Park: The Fractured Butthole, facing a bunch of delays like the previous game, actually seems to be shaping up to be pretty awesome. Things are changed a little bit. Now it's not medieval fantasy kids playing around. Now everybody's trying to be a superhero, so you get to pick from multiple different superhero classes, create your own character, now between a boy or a girl, and set out with the rest of the South Park kids and do shenanigans. The battle system does look to have a little bit of a different feel to it. It's more of a grid-based thing this time around, but the main flow is the same. You're going to explore these places, you're going to talk to characters, and you're going to experience actual good South Park writing and scenes, because the creators Matt Stone and Trey Parker really kind of actually have a passion for this stuff, and it showed with Stick of Truth, and I really hope it does with The Fractured Butthole. Whatever, though, we'll know for sure when it drops for the consoles on October 17th. But at number 6, we have Forza Motorsport 7, a racing game based around Xbox that I was lucky enough to get my hands on in a couple of preview things, and it seems like it's shaping up to be pretty damn solid. As someone who really kind of enjoys the more arcadey style stuff of the Forza Horizon games, Forza Motorsport 7 seems to finally find the perfect blend of gameplay between the more arcadey Horizon games and the Motorsport games that are way more technical and simulation based. Not only that, but from the looks of it, 7 seems to really have the most fleshed out career mode with progression and stuff like that. It does seem like they're doing stuff with loot boxes, which I don't like, but otherwise you get a highly customizable racer, you get tons of different cars to buy, customize, and collect that actually goes to a collector ranking that you can level up. And I think it's worth mentioning too, the game, when it does drop on Xbox One X, which we still don't really know how that's going to be, it's going to play at 4K 60 FPS, which is something that's kind of a big deal for a console. Maybe you're not the biggest racing game fan, but I think the Forza series, whether it's the Motorsport games or the Horizon ones, are the best entry entry-level ones because they found a really good balance. And like I said, Forza Motorsport 7 seems to do this very, very well. And at number 5, we have The Evil Within 2, dropping on PC, Xbox, and PS4 with a release date of Friday the 13th, which is very... okay, good job, guys. The Evil Within 2, from what I have seen of it, does seem to be more of like a refinement type of thing. Every aspect of The Evil Within from the original has been kind of taken apart and rebuilt to create a better experience. The game looks 10 times better, the environments are a bit more open, there's a bit more to do within those environments, and combat feels a little stronger. With a game like this, though, you really don't know how it's going to turn out until you play it, because The Evil Within, the first one was really weird, and first impressions were pretty bad, but the final game turned out to be pretty damn awesome. I'm very curious to see how they're going to approach it this time, seeing as the first game was such an homage to so many good horror elements. I'm excited to see if The Evil Within 2 tries to go its own way and really create its own new horror tropes. Since it is behind the mind of one of the founders of survival horror, I really hope this thing really takes survival horror to the next level, even more than the first game did. Not only that, the presentation and story, just judging from the trailers and the gameplay we have seen, looks pretty insane. The story set up this time around is the same main character, but he's trying to find his missing daughter, and the stakes just generally seem higher. But we won't really know exactly how it feels until we get our hands on it on Friday the 13th. Next up at number 4, we have Middle-earth: Shadow of War, a game that recently we've been seeing a lot of. If you guys pay attention to the online community, they've been dumping tons of stuff, lots of info about this game, and I'm very curious because the original Middle-earth: Shadow of Mordor was one of my favorite games of the year it released. It was really, really awesome. It was good for Lord of the Rings fans, and it was just fun to play. Shadow of War looks like it amps everything up to 11, which may almost be too much of a good thing. Now there are so many systems going on with sieges and managing your own orcs and taking down Nemesis system enemy orcs. There is just so much going on, and when you watch a gameplay video of this, it's a lot to take in. Not to mention there has been a lot of controversy with the game having all kinds of DLC stuff that's pissing people off. But honestly, when it releases and I get my hands on it, I really just hope I get the same feeling I did when I played the first game, because it was really good to kill orcs, the combat system was strong, the world was interesting, and I hope in Shadow of War, all these new systems that they tack on top of the game doesn't detract from the experience, it just kind of makes it all stronger, you know? I'm very excited as a Lord of the Rings fan and a fan of the original game, and we don't have to wait too long for our questions to be answered because it drops on October 10th. But at number 3, we have Wolfenstein 2, The New Colossus, another game after Shadow of War that is a follow-up to one of my favorite games I played the original year of its release. Wolfenstein 2, New Colossus puts you in the shoes of BJ once again. He's kind of like reawakened from the end of the last game. I'm not going to tell you what happened. You should absolutely play it because it's a good-ass shooter. And this one looks to be the same. I have gotten my hands on this at a couple of preview things, and I will say, playing the early levels, it just seems like more Wolfenstein, which I don't think is a bad thing at all. I'm very curious to see what else the game is going to do to innovate. And it seems like here what they're really doing is amping up the story and characters. Now, the previous game, Wolfenstein The New Order, did a really good job of towing the line between being like super serious, grimdark, murdery, and also being kind of ridiculous and over the top and a little bit of bullshit. It towed that line perfectly, and I really, really hope that Wolfenstein 2 does the same thing. Judging from what we have seen so far, it does seem like it's going to be doing a good job. Basically, the Nazis have taken over America, and it's up to a band of rebels to fight and take it back. That just sounds like a good old-fashioned video game story if I've ever heard one, but thankfully, coupled with that, there's lots of killing and shooting, which does feel pretty much the same. Wolfenstein games are challenging and awesome, and I'm really hoping that Wolfenstein 2 New Colossus really lives up to that name. We'll know for sure when it drops October 27th. And at number 2 on our list, we have Assassin's Creed Origins, because all of the guys here at the GameRanks office are actually really big Assassin's Creed fans. Despite the series having a lot of problems and kind of losing its way, the fact that this game took a year off between the annual Assassin's Creed release thing to kind of hone everything in and make a new game from the ground up has us really excited. This one takes place in ancient Egypt with the main character Bayek looking super badass, with lots of new changes and things actually are kind of stripped away that you normally expect from an Assassin's Creed game. But while some things feel different and some things are streamlined, we do get a really massive world here with a lot of different elements going on, and side stories and side quests that actually seem interesting, like they gave a damn when they made them. They always say it like the marketing speak, they always say this is the most ambitious game yet in the series, but Assassin's Creed Origins actually looks seriously like the most ambitious game. Now, with it being so ambitious, it could completely crumble and fall apart, and I don't know. So far, what we have seen, the frame rate doesn't always look so hot, but I hope the core game itself is still really fun. I don't know, what are you guys thinking? How do you feel? Well, no, because this also drops at the end of the month on October 27th. But at number 1, speaking of potentially awesome games dropping on October 27th, we have Super Mario Odyssey. This is just a game that a lot of us are really looking forward to the most in October because it looks damn fantastic. We've been getting new trailers and new bits of gameplay here and there, and Super Mario Odyssey just looks like it really expands upon what we've gotten from 64, Mario Sunshine, and the Galaxy games, and kind of taking everything to a new level. It's kind of pulling a Breath of the Wild, where it's adding some conventional elements to the game that Nintendo usually doesn't go for, like now Mario's going to be customizable, which is very weird, but it also looks like a ton of fun. It's a simple game, it's a Mario game, you run around, you explore these new, bigger worlds, and you jump and you do stuff. But I don't know, I can't quite put my finger on it, but the game just looks so damn endearing, and we can't wait to get our hands on it. Those are the games we're looking forward to the most this month, but we got a couple of bonus games. Most notably, Destiny 2 is finally dropping for PC on October 24th, and I know a lot of people, a lot of PC gamers have actually been looking forward to that. We also have a game called Elyx It's like an RPG open world style game that we have talked about on previous lists before, but we're also getting the remastered Age of Empires Definitive Edition on PC and Xbox One that, as someone who did love playing those types of games, I am jumping in head first. And not only that, last but not least, if you're still looking for something to play on the 3DS, you got Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga plus Bowser's Minions dropping on October 6th. But like I said, those are the games we think you should look out for in October. There are some more that didn't make the cut. It's just that much of a jam-packed month. So we do want to hear in the comments what games you're planning on picking up in October. We made a list, and now if you got a list, maybe it's a top 5, a top 10, a top 2, whatever, leave it in the comments. We want to hear it. I'll be down there talking to you guys, but if you got anything else for me, hit me up on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Jake Baldino as usual. But you guys know the deal. Clicking the like button does help us out over here. We really appreciate it. But subscribing if you're new is good too, because we get stuff like this all the time. So, as always, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next time.